Today, I'm truly honored to have the opportunity to chat with the CEO and founder of Romain Gauthier. For many years, Romain Gauthier's collection has been renowned for its incredible attention to detail and hand-finishing style from Vallée de Joux. With its exceptional craftsmanship and original design, owning a Romain Gauthier watch has become a dream for many collectors. So thank you so much for your time, Romain.
Thank you, my pleasure.
So how are you doing?
I'm very good and happy to be back.
Yeah, thank you. I've heard you brought the latest novelty, the continuing 5th titanium edition. So could you tell us a little bit about this watch? Why it's so unique?
I will say, the C5 is a continuity, of when I started with the C1. And regarding the different techniques for the dials, regarding, I will say, the colors, those type of combination. So the C5 is for sure related to the techniques that we use regarding the C movement. On the back of the watch, the middle of the bridges is also with that techniques. So I will say since the beginning of the C collection, we have introduced a hand engraving process, which is, I will say, probably only us who does that kind of hand engraving.
Yeah.
Why I did it? For me, it was important to think about Romain. In the horlogerie level, there is a lot of brands who use the laser to finish.
Yes, exactly.
I don't say that it's not nice, but me, I was really in the way to say, Romain, it's not because you have designed something contemporary, you also need to introduce also a level of human values, craftsmanship, all of those points. And this is why, I was thinking about how to reproduce by hand the laser effect kind of matte. And the beauty when you do by hand versus the laser, you have a life. You have a shine, you see what I mean? So when you look at the engraving and also on the lights or the sun, it's like sparkling.
Yeah.
It's not just matte. So this is how, for sure, I had in mind that, Romain, you have to do that techniques on the dial. That could be fantastic. And this is exactly what happened with the C5. I have decided about to do this engraving techniques on the dial.
Wow,
so it's creating a marbling, and this is impossible to get, for example, by stamping, because we use a different angle and direction to do the engraving.
Wow.
So this is creating, a marble and playing with the light.
Yeah, it's not tremblage, right?
No, it's not the tremblage techniques. It's really, I will say, a hand engraving. My fault, but I'm not necessarily a marketing thinking. Yeah. So we have, I didn't,
Give it a name.
I don't know. It's our own hand engraving, techniques in a way. But
it's exclusive for Romain Gauthier.
Yeah. Yes. And yes. So after that, also the play with colors, the burgundy. For me, the burgundy color is a very elegant one, and this is why when we achieve this piece, I directly say to my team that one is the most elegant on the C collection. Yeah. So I'm very happy, about the result. And yes, I think the champagne color also fit very well with the burgundy. Yeah.
Wow, that's very nice. It also has the snail cam, right?
Yes, exactly.
Homage to the Logical one.
Yes, I always take care, to follow a DNA, not only with the wheels, with all of this, but absolutely. So the snail cam on the Logical one was to, create, the constant torque. When you lose the power, you have a mechanical principle who by the lever, who compensate, the energy. And here it's really because the snail cam is progressive. When it's turning, then after that it turns and touch the balance. And when you go back, it's like a kind of help to the rotation again with the balance. So this is why this was important. The same things with the conception of the movement, that you have the bridges are fixed in a level, and the function of the bridges and the finishing is on the top.
Yeah.
So the same on Logical one, for example, with the balance bridge, it's also 2 layers.
Yeah.
So this is also what you have. So there is, all of those small DNA that for me is important, I will say, to keep.
Yeah, absolutely. So how much time do artisans typically dedicate to finish? The bridges.
Yeah, I will say in terms of movement, the titanium is, as you know, not that easy to work with. So as a lot of person could imagine, the beveling is matte.
Yeah.
So I will say, in terms of beveling, to prepare all of those surfaces, then after that to finish all around the bridges, it takes around 3 days for a person. And then we have after that the engraving in addition. We have, different things. So I always say, it's the level of finishing anyway, if it's matte, it's probably higher than a lot of watches with the Geneva seals.
Oh, yes.
The way that to finish, simple bridges, with the wood, it's not that long, it's not a big work. So I see the time that we apply on the titanium to be at this level is much higher than this.
Yeah. There's where the money goes to.
I will say, there is multiple things. So I will say I really care about design. I really care about, the level of finishing and all of the details what at the end, makes the things that when a person look at something beautiful, most of the time we don't necessarily realize about why. Yeah. But it's all of those details who makes the things that people say, oh wow, oh my God.
It's time consuming.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I like that.
Okay. So about the bezel, could you please give some initial concept about the design of this collection continuing?
Yeah. So the C by Romain Gauthier today, I will say when I was working on the design of the bezel, it was to have facets. So you have in fact on the bezel you have 2 chamfer which are done by turning with angle. Okay. Oh. And this is between the facets. You see those angle made by turning, and then after that the facets are really a kind of cut like this.
Oh, okay.
And to achieve, the design and the shape of the facets, everything is related to angle. So if you change, for example, the angle of the facets, then you destroy the design on the top, the inclination of the facets. Yeah. So it's really it was very, for me, a work of fine-tuning between, angles on everything to create this aspect.
Okay. Yeah. So how about the concept behind it?
So the concept behind the C was for me a very important milestone. Since the starting, we have done what I call the haute couture. It's not everybody who does design as a logical one, as a micro rotor. Those level of design belongs to the artistic design. Yeah. It's time consuming, it's difficult, we cannot necessarily find easily, the right people, So if you ask me if we can produce 500 logical one a year, never. We will never find the people.
Not in your plan.
Yes, so at the end of the day, it's a side of me, born in the Vallée de Joux, fine watchmaking, the heritage, and I was really waiting the right time to work on something a bit more contemporary, a bit more sporty and casual. Side of me is also, to appreciate that. I like, the art, the modern art, the pop art. I like cars and
the music.
And I would say, on the casual way, I was really waiting the time to work on something, like I said, more contemporary. And the C, is really belongs related to me for that. So it was not just a work, I would say, on the dial side, on the case, but it was really a work of when you turn the watch, you have something different than we are, in a way, you know, we have a certain habitude to see. So I was really working on a modern approach in terms of design, also for the movement, to have really something in harmony from the looking from the outside and the design of the movement. Historical bridges, like the finger bridge. Yes, exactly. But I will say in the evolution of tradition, you know, in my vision of this. And I will say the C was also extremely to develop something, I will say, more affordable, you know. We will do in the future, you know, things with incredible complication, those things, but the prices are like,
I know, crazy.
In a way going up, you know. You cannot do more for less, you see what I mean? And this is nice, but it's also a little bit dangerous, you see what I mean? So I will say the C really came at the right time, you know. 16 years of work with my team, you know, the understanding about manufacturing, the understanding about finishing, the understanding about how could we do something very attractive using our capacity that we gain by doing, you know, the haute couture, you know, at that level of watchmaking. And this is why for me it was a fantastic, you know, challenge, a fantastic opportunity to work on my vision of something sport, modern, but with a certain elegance.
Wow, very nice. Very nice one. So when you design the C by Romain Gauthier, you design the case first or the movement first?
It's a very good question. By the case.
By the case?
Yes.
Why?
Because that's the first DNA that what you see is this.
Okay.
So this was really important. The dynamic of the case. So I have designed, you know, the shape of the lugs, the dynamic, very like mineral, you know. And this was really, everything after that was related to something mineral, you know, with graphic lines. And yes, so this is why we have done that, I will say, in the past also. But the sense of the design of the C is, you know, with linear like this, you know. And there is nothing who close the watch in a certain way. So this is why, for example, on the movement, when you have the hand engraving, it's not closing. It can goes out. Same spirit with the dial, like the, you know, the freedom of there is no circle. Everything is very, you know, with a lot of space and freedom. So graphically, you need to have, you know, a kind of DNA. And for me, it was really about on the movement, to be very graphical and linear, using, I will say, the finger bridge influence. Yeah.
So why not make it automatic at the first time? Since it's a sporting watch.
I was always doing like this. We have to do the things step by step. You know, this caliber is a new caliber. So we also have, in a way, to know how the simplest work, and the efficiency, and maybe to improve, to get all of this before to go on something automatic. So the time that we will do an automatic, we will in the future, it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not going to be, the classical big rotor over the movement.
Must be micro rotor.
I already say you.
We'll see.
I say to you, no, it's not going to be a micro rotor.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
The macro rotor we have done with the inside.
Yes.
Macro rotor.
Yes.
And yes, so we will add automatic, but it's going to be with a different thinking.
And something interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So you have C1 to C5, C6. So what's your plan? Continue?
No, C6 is the last edition in terms of the limited edition with the three hands, 41 millimeters in titanium.
Yeah.
That was important, to have something limited, to explain, to be able to change dials, to show, I will say, the capacity that could be in the future related to, the design, all of those points. And this is why there is an end of every good things. And for the three hands limited edition, C6 is the last one. We will have only one limited edition next year. And then after that, it's going to be a few other steps, for sure.
Okay.
We'll arrive in 25
with
some exciting things belong to the C, and not only the C, but also belongs to the haute couture. So
very nice. When we think of Romain Gauthier, normally we will think about the logical ones. So my question is, why discontinue it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, I will say, a big question. But for me, when I started to think about that, it was necessary and natural. The meaning was, a lot of people, and me, I was also talking about that, with people who asked me about, but what are you doing, in terms of watchmaking? And I always say that the level as we do, we mainly work and have a collector.
Yeah.
With the collector meaning, and at the end of the day, I started to realize that Romain, the real meaning to collect is when things are not anymore available. So when the value turn, that if I sell it, I will not be able to buy again. Yeah. So, and I have one. So you can have a friend who asks you, oh, this is really nice, so where I can get? No, you cannot get anymore. Yeah. That's the value of, and the real value about why to collect, why to be at the right time. And this is, I will say, how I took this. I was also, and I also really appreciate, for example, McLaren.
Oh.
And I really liked, and understood when McLaren, discontinued the P1. Mm-hmm. That was, and also with the F1, but the P1 more was, I will say, a good turn. I don't know if for them it was, how it was strategic or not. Yeah. But I think those decisions has also given to them a lot of success, a lot of interest of car collectors and car lovers about, oh my God, the P1 is discontinued. And the P1 was for me, it's one of the most beautiful design in cars, Oh. So this is why, I was in a funny way thinking about that, Romain, the McLaren has the P1, but you have the L1. so you have to do the same, in a certain way. And for sure after that, talked with my board and all of this, and everybody, were in the same page that, yes, 10 years of production with this caliber is already, a long run, I would say, for us. When I started, I will never expect to have such demand until 10 years. But at the end of the day, I also have to think about my team, our capacity, how to get my team motivated. If you do all of your life the same things, then it starts to be a bit boring. So there is multiple aspects that why it was the decision to take. Yeah. Oh,
I see.
And the logical tool will coming. You also need to have a way that you stop. Like a break, and then after that the logical tool will come in the future.
Oh really?
Yes, that's the
year?
Reason. No, not next year.
Coming soon, huh?
27.
Okay.
Not before.
As Romain Gauthier approaches 20th anniversary in 2025, what have you noticed about change in the independent watch industry during the past 18 years? And what's your plan in the future?
For sure, when I started, it was not a lot of, I will say at that time, and still, but call it independent watchmakers. We have grew together with different ones, and I will say it was not that easy. It was not that easy, and the thinking about the social media was not really, back to 2006, 2007.
Things changed.
Yes, it wasn't necessarily this. So the way to communicate was absolutely different. You have seen also the things changing with the salon. It was like it's really moving. So, and I will say it took a long time. I remember a lot of journalists, a lot of people said about it will be the time for the independent, and it will be moving up. And I will say during the last 18 years, 15 years, I have seen really the things going up organically. the one who has literally changed, I would say, the face of the understanding about independent, the niche brand and the craftsmanship is probably, unfortunately, but you know, on every bad things there is good things. But the COVID time has created, you know, the lockdown, you know, the possibility for people to take the time to search about the passion, to understand, to talk with friends, you know, to do a video chat with the friends, and to so in a way to take the time.
Yeah.
And I will say from that time different things happen, like crazy auction, the level of price. You remember, you know, the people was queuing, you know, to get some brands, you know, launching,
begging for watches.
Exactly. So it was just insane. So this, honestly, I never seen this, you know, since I started in watchmaking. I never seen a kind of explosion like this. I will say. So this is maybe very good, but I think we all have to take care.
Yeah.
Because the things will go down, and only, you know, for me the quality and values will be kept. You know, people are more knowledgeable.
Yes.
They understand so much more now about, you know, the process, how we do. You know, me, for example, I see so much more people who wants to visit.
Yeah.
So you see, there is an appetite not just to get, but to understand.
Yeah.
And this is why, for me, I think it's very interesting. And it's very good for us, because I was always very transparent that how we do our work. And but I know that it's also maybe for other ones, it could be maybe a little bit different, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think the good time was, and now it's going to be another challenge for different, and not just in watchmaking, in different things. So for us, we have always done these things very organically, step by step and slowly.
Great.
And yes,
So will you increase the capacity?
Not that much. What we are thinking really in the future is we will have a new building. So we just started the construction of an additional building, an additional facility. And this will be, I will say, most of this capacity will be dedicated for the future to create our own showrooms around the world.
Great.
So this is how we see the development, but not necessarily to increase to have more retailers around the world, but to get a capacity for our own showroom in different places.
Oh, good to hear that.
Yeah,
great. So lastly, you have been collaborating with Swiss pride brands for a decade now. So could you share what initially motivated this collaborating, and talk about your experience throughout the partnership?
So if we come back to the last question, it's exactly that. You know, at that time the things was different, and also to get access, you know, to Taiwan, and also to Japan. I have met Mr. Valata, David Valata, which is, you know, the behind all of Swiss prime brands, and the CIO. So for me, you know, it was a new step, how to work with someone who will help us to be present in two markets. So it was not an easy decision, because I was always doing in direct with the retailers, and I had to say to myself that, Romain, there is market who the way to sell is different. So you also have to understand that. And this is why, you know, I think, you know, also by the human being, I was feeling a good possibility, and he's a nice person, and I said, okay, we can try, we can work together. It was not easy at the starting. It took time, you know, because not a lot of people knew about what we were doing. So they really had to do an incredible job. By the years, you know, it doesn't come like this, you know. So it takes years, you know, to achieve. And today I'm extremely happy, you know, that the way that we work, you know, what they achieve in almost 10 years, and we work, you know, with Swiss prime brands in Taiwan, but we also work in Japan. So those two places has done an incredible work for us.